Radio clocking system. Explain. When we sent you out to reclaim your farm, it wasn't just to provide more food and housing for the people we already have. After all, we already have enough. The farm we're reclaiming is a second-generation LS Agritech solar-powered radio broadcast system, far more powerful than the one on our own farm. I want to use it to send out a broadcast. To everyone in our vicinity, survivors living on their own, distant communities, anyone who needs a home or even just a friend. Announce our location and beckon all who might want to come to join us or just to trade to come. I want more than just survival. I want for us, all of us, to thrive, to rebuild, to revive our societies, our cities, our civilization, and we can't do that just farming, eating and sleeping over and over again. He has his own reasons. You'll have to speak to him about that. He believes we'll attract enemies rather than friends. I think it's a risk worth taking. It's the dark forest thing. What now? Continue working. The broadcast system's clocking system is broken. Without it, we cannot tune into the right broadcast frequencies. Time to fix it. Clock modules. Got it. Out 1, 2, and 3 receive clock signals at different intervals. Clock modules output trigger signals at regular specified intervals. Can be used to trigger other modules. It's a clock. We are going to want 3 of them, presumably, for this task. Ooh. We might need an OR, or maybe even an invert as well. If I hook this up, what happens? Produces a nice wave that looks a little bit like that. Fine. For output 3, we are just going to want to take that nice wave, throw it in a split, throw it in an invert, and there's our nice wave again. But inverted. Now, the second one... Can I just put you on 3? I can! Okay. So the pulse is always 1 tick, and the interval is how long there is between each tick. There's no point in having an interval of 1, because it would just be 100 all on all of the time. Alright. Radio memory buffer. We never did tell you why Miriam appointed me lead engineer, did we? Is it relevant? I'm incredibly familiar with Eris Agritech equipment, pretty useful when working on farms filled with their stuff. There's a reason why I know their equipment. I used to work for them, in the old world. These machines you've been working on, I know so much about them because I helped build them. Why did they break? Truth is, I don't know. It wasn't executive level, so maybe these machines have secrets that I don't know about. Maybe it was something outside of these machines. It's a mystery to me too. Biggest manufacturer of agriculture equipment. There used to be many companies like it, and then its founder, Alden Eris, came along and he swallowed them all. State of the art, and priced them accordingly. The farmers couldn't afford it, but if they didn't have his equipment, their crop yields lost out to those that did have them, so he gave them an offer. He'll rent out the equipment, and in return he got a cut of their revenue. Of course, as time went on, the more equipment they had to loan, the more profits he got. He practically owned them. He doesn't know. He's already said that. What does this have to do with the plan? Alden Eris is still out there and still has some employees with him. He promised them refuge from the chaos and they stayed. If we broadcast, he'll be listening and he's going to try and reclaim what he thinks is his. What do I do? Hope Miriam knows what she's doing. Fix the memory buffer so we can record a short message and loop it for the broadcast. Sample and hold. At 1 receives memory buffered signals from source 1. At regular intervals, the memory buffered signal is updated to the latest signal from source 1. Sample and hold acts as memory, sampling and storing the input value when triggered. The stored value is sent to the output until a different value is sampled. I see. So... is this just a pulse too? Looks like it. Pulse 2, hook up the out. This might just straight up work. Indeed. Just teaching you what the sample and hold does. I understand. Broadcast system is ready. Now I will record our message and you will broadcast it. Hello, fellow survivors. I am broadcasting from the abandoned farmstead north of the intersection of Highway 1 Interstate 451 and Interstate 82. We are a community of survivors who have survived this new world through collaboration and cooperation with one another, and we'd like to invite you to join us. If you are out there, a lone wanderer just scraping by like us, we have a home for you. Now what? We wait. Okie dokie. In the meantime, there is other stuff to do. Like the tractor security system. Maybe we should have set up all the security systems before doing the broadcast, but what do I know? Well, that's over. Hopefully nothing bad happens from the broadcast. We should get back to work preparing the farm. If we do get survivors joining us, we'd best be prepared. We need the vehicles to till the fields for planting and harvesting. We can start on the tractors. Turning them on requires a key code, but we can hack them. Yes, let's hack the heavy machinery. What could go wrong? Out 1 receives a clock sample with an interval of 6 time steps. Out 2 receives buffered signals from source 1. At regular intervals of 6 time steps, the buffered signal is updated to the latest signal from source 1. Hint, 6 can be expressed as 3 times 2. Can I not just set you to 6? No, it only goes up to 5. I see what the problem is. I think I also see what the solution is. It's this. We have a 3. We have a 2. We want every occasion where they both line up on the same pattern, which is going to be multiples of 6. Because all multiples of 6 can be divided by 2, and all multiples of 6 can be divided by 3. Get it, got it, good. Hook that up into a split, because we're going to need it again momentarily, I am sure. Fantastic. New colour. Is this not just going to be something a little bit like this? It is, in fact, going to be something a little bit like this. Wonderful. That may have taken a little bit longer without the hint. Tractor's up and running. There's some improvements you could make to it, though, if you are up for it. Tractor music player. Yes, I love listening to country music while travelling at slightly faster than walking pace. Fun! Well, it's not country music, probably just a small library of corporate-approved generic pop, but still better than nothing. Make a drum beat. Out 1 is a kick drum, out 2 is a hi-hat, out 3 is a snare drum. Marvellous. More clocks required. Right, well, this is just a 4. Which we know how to do already. This is just an inverted 2, which we know how to do already. Marvellous. This last one looks a little bit more interesting. Because it's on 4 like the other one. But it's not on the same on 4. It's not a straight up inversion either. So I think we need an and, a not. We not the on 4. And compare it to the on 2. Indeed. That is precisely what we do. I suppose this is music. It would probably just get annoying quick, more than actually be entertaining. Dunno. Send us something. Anything. Fine. Drone Pathfinder. Things will start to get more complicated. Bring it! Harvester drones! No more manual harvesting. Start with the pathfinding circuit. It takes data from the environment and finds the most efficient path to take. We send you a new signal, the delay signal. Use it to add a time delay to a signal. You'll need to add a time delay to do numerical comparisons. For each time step, do something something. At each time tap, compare the current signal value at source 1 with the previous 2 values, send the highest to output. If there is no previous, assume the previous is 0 volts. Signal delay, with a very fancy, leafy design. Alright. And I have the max and min. And a bunch of stuff is labelled as optional here. Right. Split. Obviously. We want, one with a 1 delay, one with a 2 delay. And then we want the max of that and that. And then we want the max of that and that. And we want to send that. Simple enough introduction to the new module. Look out of window. Ah, the farm is improving. It's changed a lot. It will continue changing. Things decay, we build them up again. Drone processor. Time to continue work on the harvester drones. The main processor board is still fried. I must fix it. Start with the accumulator circuit. It's necessary for it to do arithmetic computations. Careful though, it's a tricky circuit to fix. Construct a feedback loop. Use the delay signal module. Feedback loop. What if you send that output back into the input? Build an accumulator that starts from 0 and increases by 1 volt for each time step, and send it to the output. We're making a counter. Okay, starting with a 0. Literally. Optional, optional, optional. We have an and a not for some reason. We want the bias with 1. Sum that with +1. We're starting at 1, we're starting at 0. -1. Grab the output, split the output, throw the output into there, throw the output into there. And it goes. There's probably a smart way to do that without needing the second bias, just doing a fairly pointless -1 to everything at the end. But that'll do. Feedback looks like these are quite important to a lot of complex circuits, so no doubt you'll be seeing more of them. Next, radar system. Hey, one of our scout drones has detected movement near your farm. Movement? Group of people from the looks of it, you need to be alert. I told you, Miriam, you've just put our friend's life in danger. Enough, we don't know who they are yet. What do I do? Radio broadcast system has a secondary function. It can be used as a radar system. Time to activate that function. It'll let you track the group's movements and prepare to respond to them accordingly. This again feels like something I should have done sooner. Emit a decaying signal to out 1 whenever source 1 outputs 100 volts. The decaying signal reduces by a fixed value at each time step until it reaches 0. This fixed value ranges from 0 to 36. Source 2 specifies the fixed value. Okay. So 100, and we go down by multiples of 28 until we get to 0. 100 degrade by 7. We've been interrupted by another 100, down by 33. I see. Okay. Well, we're gonna want one of these. Gonna want one of those. Sun, min, max. Do I want any of that? What do I want to do here? Do I actually want a signal delay? Not sure. Because we do want to output immediately on the same time step when we get a new input. So, first things first, we want to invert that. And we're going to need to bias it at some point. So we can see we have our thing. We're then gonna want to save that value. So this is always gonna be outputting what we need to decrease by currently. Cool. We have that. Say we grab this. And a split. In fact, I could probably just use the split instead of the not. Output that there. Also here and here. So that's going to take in our initial 100 whenever we want it. This is going to want to be delayed by a time step, right? Because here it's going to be minus 28, and I don't quite want that yet. So I think we hook this up to a 1 delay. Take this. Do I want an OR here? I might want an OR here. So that does 100 in. Why have I got this and here again? Do that, some. What does this do? Something weird. It always gets the second step right. So we go down, we now want to save this back. Split you. Hook you up to that. Hook you up to this. $100. This 72. Scrap the ore. I need this instead. Ooh, well that didn't work. Wrong socket. Wow, that did a lot of computation real quick. And we ended up with minus 28 for some reason. Not even sure what happened there. And we're getting loops and things. Whoa. What have I even done? Let's just go back a few steps. We've got our new number. We want to take that new number. We want to save it into storage, definitely. It's going to be 100. Minus a step. We want to save back this old result. $100. I think it's looping around the right set of figures, it's just not pausing ever. How do I make it stop? Do I even need this sample and hold? If I... I need to output. I need to output a 100 straight away. Is the annoying bit. These are 100. And the next step, this is going to output minus 28. It gets summed, we get 72. And... need to re-trigger the gate to save it back again. 100. See, this is doing the right thing again, it just won't stop. What if I insert a delay here? This feels a lot closer to being correct. It's getting the general stairs right and in about the right place. But we're missing a couple of bits. We're missing the initial 100 output. So we're gonna need a sum, I think is all that we need to deal with that. That should always output a 100 at the correct time. Just that we end up on a minus number occasionally. And that is very much not what I want. 100. 72. 44. 16. Minus 12. We need a positive check here. We have an output if the signal is minus. If it's minus, then minus, then we block the output with a VCA. That didn't quite work. Because of the initial 100. Fine, this is gonna turn into a bit of a mess. I need another splitter. Out, out. Or that. More promising. What's going on here? We get a new 100. 100, which is cool. Invert. This number. And if this exists, feed it into our sum. No. I've clearly grabbed the wrong thing. Knots everywhere. Ugh. It's close. It's close. I just need to wire in the gate as well. Which is gonna be some input, output. Split. Output, input. What happened? That reset back to 0, which is what I want. Throw me another ore. Reset. Well, that ended up being a total, complete and utter mess that I don't even know how to explain how it works. But it works. Where am I even on the leaderboard? How many people are on the leaderboard? There is clearly a far, far, far more sensible solution than this one. But this utter mess is what I've ended up with. Full of resets. And if this, then that. Literal spaghetti code with yellow wires. Good job. Not really. Looks like the group is still quite far away from you. You can continue your work, but keep watch on the radar. That's a lot of new things that opened up. Drone accumulator optimization. Continue working on the harvester drones. There's a variety of optimizations you can make to its processor. Here's one for its accumulator circuit. Source 1 is a random signal. Source 2, 3, and 4 are binary. Create a single value memory. When source 2 is 100 volts, output the signal stored in the memory to out 1. When source 3 is 100 volts, store the value at source 1 in memory. When source 4 is 100 volts, add the value at source 1 to the value in memory. I see. Well, here's our bit of memory. When source 3 is 100, store the value at source 1 in memory. Gotcha. When source 2 is 100, output the value stored to out 1. So we need an AND. Is source 1 necessarily going to be always positive, though? Looks like that's a yes. Good, that means I don't have to do any weird... Is it a minus number? And that and should just work fine out of the box. If that and that. Output that. I think that's more or less working. Not that I can exactly tell, because we haven't done the last step. When source 4 is 100 volts, add the value at source 1 to the value in memory. This is going to be the complicated bit, isn't it? Split. Source 1, the value in memory. PCA that with source 4. And if this output exists, then save it to memory. Something's going a little bit wrong somewhere along the lines. I think I just incorrectly flipped. Well, it always defaults down to 0 correctly. Scrap everything from the top. Let's maybe use some colours, huh? Output can be green. Fine. That. When source 2. Fine. Back to green for our output. Split that. Take it to do a sum. with whatever this is. If source 4 exists, take that new output. Grab an ore. And a sum. Another splitter. And save. Better-ish. Putting in 30, nothing happens. And immediately decided to escalate all the way up to 100. Why? Maybe just add a delay to that? Didn't really help. Still trying to do the 33 twice thing. BCA not. Split. Signal 3. That did not really help too much. Taking a 30. What if? Hook in an ore. To there. Aha! Again, I'm not fully sure I can explain what I did properly, because I just kind of trial-errored and fixed one error at a time until it worked. But it works. It works! That's all I can say about it. It works. The logic functions. Good enough for me. Good work, there are a few more optimizations you could work on if you're up for it. Like the signal delay implementation. Part of the processor that can be sped up with a signal delay module, but the wiring patterns are incompatible with our stock modules. We're going to have to implement the behavior of a signal delay module without using a signal delay. Oh boy. Out 1 receives signals from source 1 delayed by 1 time step. What? How? How does one delay without delay? Well, I'm most certainly going to need one of these. I think. What do I want the clock for? Okay, so I have an alternator here that flips back and forth between a 0 and a 100. If I hook these into gates... and then sample and hold... what happens? We have a 9. That gets stored to the top. You have a 14 stored to the bottom. 13 top. 5 bottom. Minus 8 top. 7 bottom. Now I want 2 of these. Gonna need to split that, because I need a second output. Not sure if it should be this way round or the other way round. If it doesn't work this way round, I'll flip these 2 wires over. And then some. One of them's always gonna be 0. Other way round. Surprisingly not as tricky as I feared. I think I can actually explain this one. We want to delay things by 1 step. We have no delay. the only other option of delaying something is with a sample and hold. If I have an alternator and I hook it up to 2 sample and holds like that, we're going to have one sample and hold that always has the current number in storage and one sample and hold that always has the previous number in storage. Then all we need to do is hook up the same clock to a pair of VCAs so that we're always outputting the thing that we put into storage one time step ago and not the thing that we've just put into storage. And that's it. Hurrah! I can make my own signal delay without a signal delay. Good job, but the clock generator in the drone could be improved with a signal delay too. I'll send you the specs.